What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Entertainment Hub. Today I'm bringing you part 3 of a Pennsylvania Urban Legends series. So sit back and relax. Enjoy the video. Number 10. Camp Hill High School, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. In the lower level of Camp Hill High School, there is a small metal door that is about 3 feet off the ground. Although all of the school has been redone, this part was left alone. The door is usually locked, although some have been able to get inside. The floor is still just dirt. There are mounds that span the small space. A small children's cemetery used to be where the school is now. It is said that when the school was built, they did not want to disturb the bodies. People have reported seeing small girls running down the hallway. Reports of footsteps down the halls and sounds of small girls' voices can be heard. Number 9. Carbon County Prison, Carbon County. The old Carbon County Prison was last used in 1995. There has been numerous reports of unexplained phenomena at the prison in recent years. The most famous ghost story associated with the prison is the handprint left in a cell by a man wrongfully accused of being a member of the Molly Maguires. The Molly Maguires were a group of disgruntled miners in the 1870s who used violence as a means to bring about change in the corrupt mining industry. Several men were accused, arrested, and eventually hanged at the prison for being Molly Maguires. On the eve of his execution, a man who proclaimed his innocence ran his hand along the dirty floor of his cell and made an impression of his hand on the wall, claiming the impressions would always remain as proof of his innocence. The next day, he was hanged and the handprint was washed away. 3 days later, the print reappeared. As legend has it, the wall has been repeatedly washed and painted, but the handprint always returns. The wall was supposedly even ripped down and replastered, but the handprint yet again returned. The prison is now open to tourists, and the cell with his handprint is off limits. Visitors can still view the print through the cell door though. Number 8. Amity Hall Hotel, Buchanan, Pennsylvania. There was a young woman found stabbed to death, lying on the front porch on a couch. The legend has it that there was a family that lived in it, and the husband went crazy and killed his wife, then his kids, and then himself in the upstairs hallways and rooms of the hotel. In the days of Pennsylvania canal system, canal travelers used to stay there. Then in the Civil War days, it was used as a hospital. If you're planning to visit this place, try to get permission. It says no trespassing. When you get permission, bring plenty of batteries because they drain quickly. In the corner of the L-shaped building, very small bluish lights have been seen. The creepier place on the outside is a door at the end of a hall which is locked shut. The worst room in the house is upstairs, the trophy room. This room is filled with a giant feeling of get out of here. The glass and the mirrors are all broken. Very faint white figures of what appears to be a woman in the attic window facing the parking lot can be seen. White flashes of light in the attic windows facing the road have been seen. Faint glows fading in and out of the windows, as well as a small but somewhat bright points of light coming from the corner of the L shape. Frightening black figures, not the shape of a dog, but about the size of a dog, linger in the parking lot. I believe they are called imps. A particularly vengeful spirit has sat outside of cars in which males are present. It's believed it is the wife whom the husband beat to death and left on the front porch. It is also said that you can experience reenactments of the murder right in front of you. Number 7. Elmhurst Boulevard, Dunmore, Pennsylvania. It is a real long, desolate, and windy road that goes about 3 miles to a small circle. You are supposed to stop there, turn your lights off, and drive around the circle 3 times, and face the way you came in. You then wait until a large truck, which comes out of nowhere, starts chasing you. Warning: do not get very scared, the truck never gets you, so don't go fast. People have crashed and died because of that. Also, Do not wait to see what and who it is, just leave. Once you start to leave, the lights seem to disappear, and you never see anything behind you. Number 6. Harrisburg State Hospital, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Harrisburg State Hospital was an insane asylum for over 150 years. It admitted its first patient in 1851 as the Pennsylvania State Lunatic Hospital. It is located on the outskirts of the city limits of Harrisburg on a 200-acre plot, most of which falls within Susquehanna Township lines. There is an entrance on Cameron Street across from the Farm Show Complex, and another one off of the Elmont Avenue, a hiking and biking trail called the Captain Area Greenbelt leads into another entrance in the Edgemont area of the city. It closed its doors as an asylum in 2006, but the grounds and the buildings are still in use today as office for several state agencies, such as the Pennsylvania Office of Mental Health. There are now over 50 buildings on the grounds. Although a large portion of the land is still woodland, many different noises from screams to footsteps are heard, and many different visuals ranging from shadows to full-body apparitions are witnessed. The morgue, although very tiny, is a 2-story tall, and the basement leads into the tunnels. There are large blood-like stains on the floor, and the examining tables are still there. There is also poltergeist activity reported in the various buildings. Be warned, it may be illegal to be on the property at night, and there are some security guards. The morgue, stables, and some of the tunnel entrances are secluded enough to probably not be noticed if entered at night. And since that area is right by the Greenbelt, one could enter the property from the entrance and have a car readily available. But it is probably best to try to get permission. It is definitely illegal to actually be in the tunnels or the morgue, as well as any other buildings that are boarded up or locked. Number 5. Lancaster Green Apartments, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. At the Lancaster Green Apartments, Building K, 2 young women were murdered. To this day, no one knows who or what killed them. Some say that it was just a tree branch falling on the roof. When their mother found them, their faces were covered with ash, eyes blood red, faces twisted with terror. Every year, on the day they were found dead, screams can be heard, echoing down the halls. There are also sounds of struggling, but then there's quiet. Then all of a sudden, you see a flash of light in the halls, and then the power goes out. That happens about every 2 years for a few weeks on and off. I pity you if you live in the building. Be careful. Number 4. Carson Long Military Institute, New Bloomfield, Pennsylvania. Now, I was surprised to find this one on the internet. I actually went to this military institute whenever I was in high school. And the stories that are said about it, some are true, and the one that I'm going to read on here, well, one of the parts of the story I have seen, and many other cadets at that school saw too. There have been stories told by the students that there are things in their rooms that have been moved. One of the students claimed to have seen his trunk being moved across the floor. There has also been sightings of 2 red circles resembling eyes being seen in the chapel. And years ago, one of the instructors heard laughing coming from the Maples when no one was in there. Number 3. James Martin School, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This used to be a hospital and nursing school, and at times you could see bloody hands and people in the mirrors. In the blocked off attic section, you can look into the window from the outside and see a face. There are a few stories behind it. The first being, the boys were cutting school and got stuck in the attic. The second, a mental patient went crazy and threw himself out the window. And lastly, mental patients went up into the attic and slit each other's wrists. They are all possible reasons, but There is something there, and they are all reason for the man or woman in the window. Number 2. Quaker Church, Perryopolis, Pennsylvania. This is another one I've been to personally. Me and my friends used to go and try to find scary or haunted places, and this is one I actually have visited. There is a small one-room church that is in the middle of a cemetery, and one of them has writing on it describing how a young woman died, and it is said that if you read it, you will die the same death she did. This writing is there. I have seen it. I did not read it, and you can actually go into the church itself also. Number 1. Oil Creek State Park, Oil City, Pennsylvania. This is another fan request, and it took me a couple days to find anything on Oil City other than its crimes and history, but I finally came across one of its urban legends, so I hope that you get a chance to see it. In the park there is a cemetery. On that road, you can sometimes see a woman in a white dress who is said to have hanged herself in the woods. Other ghosts have been spotted, but people don't know who they are. That's it for our part 3 of our Pennsylvania Urban Legends series. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've been to any of these, make sure to comment down below. If you have any ideas for our next series, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do a video on it. Everybody have a great day. See you next time.